I think we'll find out over the next wee while that Willie Collum has given his personal approval to the decision not to send Trusty off. And I think that although it's viewed by many people as a kick to the head, I think the feeling at the SFA, certainly with Willie Collum, is that there wasn't sufficient force or malice involved to trigger a red card decision. And so he's backing his men on it. So as angry as Rangers might be, and as many times as they want to write to the SFA to demand meetings and talks, I don't think they're likely to get any joy when the guy that's in charge of referees is about to give his backing to his officials by insisting publicly that they called it right. That the whole process was handled properly. There was no requirement for Andrew Dallas to ask Nick Walsh to go and look at the screen. And I think basically pretty much these guys are in the clear as far as their own SFA bosses are concerned. Now, I'm sure that won't make Rangers fans feel any better about it, or the Rangers hierarchy, who seem determined to get involved in kind of ping pong with the sixth floor of the SFA over this, have been for a while. But Willie Collum coming out and saying his guys were right to make the call. It was punishable only by a yellow card. Do you think that might put this whole thing to bed? I have my doubts.
We've got plenty of comments coming in already. If you want to have your say on this incident and anything else, then let us know and try and get involved in the conversation. John says, Keith, he says, the KMI panel ruled 2-1 on the Trusty decision. Therefore, it was a subjective and debatable decision. And I would just tack on at the end. I mean, I don't want to go over was it not a red card, but I can understand why someone could look at it and go, a yellow was sufficient.
Yeah, and listen, there was plenty of opinions at the time. I tended to side towards you just can't kick somebody in the face
but it wasn't
deliberately.
It wasn't really a kick, was it? It was more of
a flicking of the boot. You can't do it. You just can't do it. And you've got when you're talking about endangering an opponent, you guys are wearing studs. How are you going to know what part of your boot's going to make contact with what part of the face? For me, it looked like, it was a deliberate action. It wouldn't have, if Trusty's own momentum had carried him into that collision, I would have said, I don't see what the problem is there. It was the fact that Trusty didn't need to flick out that boot. It was needless. It looked deliberate.
It was really strange above it.
It was really strange. And, you had people like Neil Lennon and Charlie Mulgrew at the game saying that was crazy. So at the very least, I think my opinion at the end of it was he should have been sent off for sheer stupidity, if not endangering an opponent. I don't know where that is in the rule book, but clearly, despite the many Rangers grievances, and what I'm a little bit uncomfortable with is this sort of suggestion from Rangers that this isn't to be viewed even as a one-off incident. There's something broader. There's a bigger pattern going on here. Yeah. What we're saying, guys, what we're saying, because Scottish football has been through enough periods of people wrapping themselves up in tinfoil hats. We've been there. We've done it. It does the game no benefit. And I think Rangers would be well advised to step back from that narrative if that's the one that they're trying to paint. Because what they're saying, are you suggesting that Scottish football is corrupt?
Well,
is that what the suggestion is?
That we've got comment. Sorry, Keith.
Because it wasn't right when it was stated previously. There was a period of time when Celtic were having to look up to Rangers in terms of their position in the league table over a number of years and the amount of trophies that Rangers, and that became a bit of a narrative around Celtic, and it also became a bit of a stick to poke Celtic with paranoia, and Rangers having been toppled off the top spot, they're now resorting to the similar sort of stuff, and I don't like it. I don't think it looks. I don't think it's the optics on it are good for Rangers or the people in charge of Rangers. I think they've got to be bigger and better than that.
Yeah.
And I think there is enough. Whether or not I think there was a red card, and I did. We had Des Roach on, and he almost came round to my argument before wobbling and going back to it was a booking.
Yeah.
I think you probably think it was a booking. I've heard other people say it was a red, but it's in that grey
Aye.
area
Aye.
as one of the guys said there. It's open to subjectivity.
Yeah.
There is no black and white and fast rule to it. I would have thought kicking somebody in the face deliberately would be a red card, but I also do get the argument. It's not without foundation. The argument that there was not the necessary amount of force or malice
Hmm.
in the action to constitute a red card offence. But I really do think it's toss of the coin stuff with this one.
Yeah.
So to start screaming conspiracy, as I said, it's not a good look.
No, I agree. And what I was going to say there a moment ago was that Nick is
It's
one
not
of the
healthy either, Daniel,
no
because this is a sort of explosive environment in which we all have to work here,
the asylum.
particularly in this part of Scotland. So when the people are in charge of clubs are actually pandering a little bit to the sort of extreme end of their support and suggesting and validating opinions that there's a cabal of people out there that are out to work against the best interests of the football club. That's dangerous stuff, and we've seen what it's led to in the past. And people need to be very aware of that because I think it's really unhelpful, and it can lead people into dangerous situations. We don't need it. We just need
Yeah.
to be a bit more grown up about it. And the people that are running Rangers, they've got that responsibility to set the right tone.
Yeah. What I was going to say though there is that we do have some fans writing in. No, Keith, I don't think there's any persuading them. Nick, on your screen. Oh, Nick, on your screen there, you can see it's not really about the incidents. A combination of incidents that seem to be going in Celtic's favour. Eck goes even further, saying Scottish football being corrupt. It's a fact. I mean, just to echo what you said there, that's are people honestly saying that there is a conspiracy? Everyone's getting together and going, right, listen, Rangers aren't getting it. I mean, of course not. I mean, that's mad to even suggest it.
Listen, see, to be fair, Daniel, there have been moments throughout the last 14 years of almost complete Celtic domestic dominance. For Celtic fans have been convinced, and they've went and said similar things. That's what happens with football
Yeah.
supporters who are highly charged, really passionate, and we commend Celtic fans and Rangers fans and fans at every club in Scotland for the passion that they've got for the football club.
Mhm.
But it does open the door to outlandish suggestions from time to time. And the people that are in charge of running the ship should, as I said to you, be well advised to step back from it because it's unhelpful.
Yeah.
Um, and all you're doing, if you're validating the opinions of people that genuinely think there's a corrupt cabal at the heart of Scottish football, and they're making decisions based upon the colour of the team that they support, it's nonsensical. As I
Yeah.
said, it's nonsensical when Celtic fans come out and say stuff like this, even though they've won 13 out of the last 14 league titles. You can see from a Rangers point of view, they feel the world's been against them the last wee while. But, I understand that too. But really, you've got to look closer to home for the answers. There's a reason that Rangers are struggling again this season. It's bad choices made by them. So unless you're making every decision and getting everything spot on and appointing the right managers and spending the right amount of money on the a real proper level of players to improve and progress, if you're doing all that and still not getting results, then maybe they might find something.